let's just talk a little bit just about the subject of today's session, really, and that is Redwood, the user interface changes that Oracle have been implementing for some time that have been coming through their Fusion products. Some of you might have already implemented. So what is happening then with Redwood? What does it kind of mean for us really at this point? So let's not sugarcoat it, right? The change is quite significant. If you're used to the classic user interfaces and you've got existing content and guided learning that you need to move to Redwood when that switch happens, then as we've discovered and been working with our clients already on this, you will be doing a significant amount of redevelopment of that content. Okay, in many cases, you'll probably be creating all new guidance, and particularly in areas where there's really significant change. If you think about things like procurement, of course, that change is really coming upon us soon with 25C, the phase where you are no longer to opt out of Redwood for self-service procurement. So in our experience so far, we've found some real notable challenges, not just in terms of the impact that it has on users, okay, and thinking about, again, that user-centric approach to make sure that people are able to adjust to the change when the interface comes in, but also as developers of guided learning, as professionals maintaining guided learning services for our clients, some really unique challenges in how we approach the development of OGL compared to how we did things on the classic UI. So lots of things perhaps we've become really used to or accustomed to in ways of working, how we use our target selectors, for example, and things like that, really change with the new UI. So it's really key to make sure that we plan for this in advance and not get caught out surprise for this. And that's the subject really of today's session. So as I said, that impact on users we've shown to be really notable. So time to adjust to the new functionality. When I log in for the first time on a new UI, where are the buttons and fields that I used before? Things might have moved, things might be hidden by sub-menus now. How is your service integrator? How have they managed any previous customizations that you have? Where are they now? What do they look like? What personalizations did you have before, and how have they been applied with Redwood coming in as well? Any training materials you have, so that not just guided learning, if we have to think beyond that and think much more holistically than that with this change and plan beyond all of that as well. So do you have video content? Perhaps you've got user guides, perhaps you've got e-learning, and those things have screenshots and steps of how to use the system. That's all going to have to get updated as well, and you're going to have to think about how you manage that entire refresh and update really as one kind of holistic piece of work. And of course, guided learning, which is the thing that we're going to be talking about largely today as well. So we've still got to go all those good things, as well as the guided learning updates and making sure that any existing content and materials are getting updated and fixed, providing new content to help manage the change, help familiarize people with what's new, give them the tools that you need, all of those really good things that you can do in guided learning. And you might have seen some excellent webinars already by our partners of Oracle talking through some of the types of things that you can do there to help land the change. So a shout out to some of those are worth checking out on the Oracle website as well. But also, what else you have to do around that? So planning for success, communications going to be really key. How do you catch people at that kind of point of entry using some of the features that you've got in guided learning, such as auto run guides, messages, smart tips, and so on. And I just wanted to pick up here just a little bit of the timeline again, not to concern anyone, but some of these things are coming around fairly rapidly. 25C is a really kind of key release for this Fusion update. Some of you might right now be tackling 25B or just about to, if you're live already with that. But 25C is where we see we lose the opt-out features for some kind of key elements of this, in particular self-service procurement. A lot of the global HR stuff fits in there, absence sits in there. So a lot of those self-service functions and tasks, such as booking annual leave, looking after my team information, how do we do things like update my personal details, that stuff that really is bread and butter for guided learning, really the kind of the core stuff that all of your users have to do. Those things are really getting impacted in 25C if you haven't already moved across to Redwood for those as well. And then in the future, there are some other key releases going to be coming up where some of these things become, where you lose that opt-out option, they become purely opt-in. So 26A will be looking at a lot of the learning admin functions. Some of learning, of course, is already there on Redwood. 26B will be some of the recruitment functions. And then in 26D, towards the end of that timeline, looking at some of the rest, anything that's left up with learning admin and some of the workforce compensation pieces in there and workforce planning as well.